What I'm about to tell you is something most men will never hear, because it shatters the illusion they cling to. Here's the brutal truth. 99% of men are weak. Not because they're untalented, not because they're unlucky, but because they refuse to face themselves. Stop this video right now if you'd rather stay comfortable. Stop watching if you're afraid of confrontation, not with others, but with the coward hiding inside your own mind. But if you keep watching, you'll learn the exact Machiavellian principles that separate the 1% of unshakable men from the masses who live their entire lives on their knees. This is the knowledge the weak cannot handle. Chapter 1. The Anatomy of Weakness. Why 99% of men fail before they even begin. Most men believe weakness is loud, that it looks like crying, insecurity, or emotional collapse. But Machiavelli knew the truth. Weakness is silent. It hides in routine. It hides in excuses. It hides in comfort. It hides in the lies you tell yourself to avoid change. Weakness isn't a moment. Weakness is a lifestyle. And 99% of men live inside it every single day. Let's break down the 3 brutal truths Machiavelli would reveal if he were here today. Men today are ruled by impulse. They wake up and immediately surrender to their phone, to their cravings, to their anxiety, to their laziness, to other people's opinions. They don't decide their actions. Their emotions do. Machiavelli warned rulers about this exact trap. He who cannot govern himself is unfit to govern anything. Reread that. If you can't control your mind, you will never control your future, your direction, or your destiny. Imagine, you say you'll wake up early, but the moment your alarm rings, your comfort wins. You say you'll work on your goals, but the moment distraction appears, your discipline collapses. You say you'll stop caring what people think, but the moment someone talks about you, your identity shatters. This isn't bad luck. This is internal weakness. Now pause. Because this is the moment most men click away. This is the moment their ego starts screaming. But not you. You're still here, which means something inside you refuses to stay in the 99%. Let's continue. Not physical discomfort, emotional discomfort. The discomfort of saying no, setting boundaries, being alone, choosing discipline over pleasure, choosing purpose over distraction, telling the truth about who they are. Men fear the battle inside more than any challenge outside. Machiavelli wrote, "It is not hardship that defeats men, but the fear of hardship." Meaning, weak men avoid the very pain that would make them powerful. Imagine your friend group mocks you for wanting to improve. Weak men fold. Strong men walk away. Your boss disrespects you. Weak men tolerate it. Strong men fix their posture, slow their breath, and respond with calm authority. Your ambition scares you. Weak men shrink. Strong men rise. The difference isn't talent, it's courage. Here's a darker truth. Weak men don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they never aim at all. They wander, they drift, they react, they wait. They live like leaves in the wind, pushed around by circumstance, emotion, and the expectations of others. And worst of all, they think this is normal. Machiavelli would call them men who exist but do not live. A study from the University of Scranton found that 92% of men never follow through on their goals for more than 30 days. Not because they lack ability, but because they lack identity. Weak men think goals create identity. Strong men know identity creates goals. Weakness is not your natural state. Weakness is learned. You were not born insecure. You were not born afraid. You were not born lazy or distracted. Life conditioned you. School conditioned you. Society conditioned you. Comfort conditioned you. You were slowly stripped of your aggression, ambition, clarity, and dominance. The qualities that make men magnetic, respected, and powerful. But here's the forbidden knowledge. Anything that is learned can be unlearned. Anything that is conditioned can be deconditioned. Weakness is not permanent. It is a habit. Strength is not mythical. It is also a habit. Let's see if this hits home. Sign 1. You break promises to yourself. You say you'll change. You don't. You say you'll commit. You won't. You say you'll become better. You collapse after 48 hours. This destroys self-respect more than failure ever could. You tiptoe. You please. You avoid conflict. You dilute yourself so others stay comfortable. This turns men invisible. You run from the life you should be building into the life that keeps you weak. Comfort becomes your prison. Because here is the turning point. Weakness is not an identity. Weakness is a choice repeated long enough to feel like identity. If weakness is chosen, strength can also be chosen. Right now, today, this moment, but not through motivation, not through hype, through strategy. The same strategy Machiavelli trained powerful men with. Chapter 2. The 1% Framework. Machiavelli's Rules for Building an Unbreakable Man. If Chapter 1 revealed why most men stay weak, this chapter teaches you exactly how to join the top 1%. The men who walk through life with calm power, unshakable presence, and strategic discipline. Machiavelli believed great men were not born extraordinary. They were shaped by principles, systems, and daily habits that forged their character. He wrote, "Fortune is controlled by the bold, but ruled by the prepared," meaning you don't rise by accident, you rise by design. Today, we design the version of you who belongs to that 1%. I've broken the transformation into 4 core pillars, each containing rules that the weak cannot follow, but the strong cannot live without. Let's begin. Most men are mentally fragile, not because life is hard, but because their mind is untrained. Machiavelli said a leader must master his own storms. These are the rules that do exactly that. Weak men wake up reacting. Strong men wake up deciding. The first 10 seconds after you wake up set the tone for the next 16 hours. Most men wake up and immediately grab their phone, compare themselves, check notifications, absorb noise, lose control of their mind. This is psychological suicide. A study from IDC found that 79% of men check their phones within 3 minutes of waking. These men show significantly lower focus and higher anxiety throughout the day. You cannot join the 1% if you begin your morning like the 99%. Your first thought must be intentional. I choose how I move today. Weak men react instantly to everything. Strong men slow their reactions when it matters. When someone disrespects you, when stress hits, when plans fall apart, when someone gives attitude. You pause. You breathe. You respond from clarity, not chaos. Imagine someone raises their voice at you. Old you reacts emotionally. New you pauses 2 seconds, stays calm, and replies with quiet authority. This pause is psychological armor. It is the difference between being ruled and being respected. Your feelings change every hour. Discipline creates identity. Machiavelli believed leaders must act from necessity, not emotion. Weak men obey their emotional impulses. Strong men obey their mission. If you want to join the 1%, you must stop asking, "What do I feel like?" and start asking, "What must be done?" This is where inner power is born. You don't need to look like a bodybuilder to be strong, but you do need a body that respects you. Machiavelli believed a ruler must stay physically capable, because physical strength reinforces mental authority, not for aesthetics, for dominance over your weaker self. Examples: 50 push-ups, a cold shower, a 10-minute run stretching through pain, 1 minute of intense plank. Imagine old you hits snooze. New you drops to the floor and starts doing push-ups before your excuses can speak. The action is small. The psychological impact is enormous. Every hard thing you do is proof that you can do harder things. The 99% eat for pleasure. The 1% eat for power. This doesn't mean starving yourself. It means choosing food that builds clarity, energy, and stamina. Your body is the engine of your ambition. Treat it like a weapon, not entertainment. Your posture, your breath, your gait, they all communicate power or weakness. Straight spine, shoulders back, slow steps, calm breathing. This is your physical presence, your silent introduction, your unspoken dominance. This is what Machiavelli meant when he wrote, "A prince must appear composed even when storms rage within him." This is where most men fail, not in their goals but in their inability to manage emotional storms. Machiavelli believed emotions were tools, not dictators. Here are the rules that shift you from fragile to formidable. Weak men justify. Weak men over-explain. Weak men talk too much. Strong men speak with precision. If someone questions your decisions, you don't panic. You don't defend endlessly. You don't beg for approval. You say, "This is what I've decided," and leave it there. This communicates confidence more than any speech ever could. Silence creates tension. Tension creates respect. Many men talk themselves out of power by filling silence with fear-driven words. Try this. When someone interrupts you, stop talking, look at them, wait, then continue where you left off. This simple act shifts the entire dynamic. Weak men want approval. Strong men want alignment. Stop asking, "Do they like me?" Start asking, "Do they match my standards?" This is the mindset shift that instantly separates you from the 99%. Stop. Look at how far you've made it. Most men clicked away the moment they felt uncomfortable. Most men avoid anything that forces growth. But you're still here, which means you're not like them. So listen carefully to what comes next, because it is the secret Machiavelli hinted at, but never taught openly. Identity is destiny. Weak men try to act strong. Strong men become strong through identity. Here are the highest level rules. The forbidden ones. Indecision is the language of the weak. The 99% hesitate out of fear. The 1% decide out of clarity. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to act imperfectly than to remain paralyzed." Fast decisions build confidence. Slow decisions breed insecurity. Every strong man lives by principles. Wake up at the same time. Train daily. Speak truth. Respect your time. Refuse weakness. Your code becomes your spine. Your code becomes your identity. Break your code and you break yourself. Let's finish the transformation. Chapter 3. How to join the 1%. The daily system that rebuilds you from the inside out. By now you understand why most men are weak and what the 1% do differently, but none of that matters if you don't know how to install these principles into your life in a way that transforms your identity permanently. Because here is Machiavelli's most brutal truth. Weakness is not destroyed by motivation. It is destroyed by structure. A weak man tries to feel strong. A strong man builds a system that makes strength inevitable. This final chapter gives you that system. This is a 4-part protocol that rewires your habits, your emotions, your decision-making, and ultimately your identity. This is the system the 99% will never follow because it demands self-confrontation and internal discipline. But if you follow it, your presence, your mindset, and your life will become unrecognizable in 30 days. Let's begin. The weak start their day in chaos. The elite start their day in command. Your morning should create 3 things: clarity, stability, identity. Here's the ritual. No phone, no scrolling, no notifications. Your mind belongs to you before the world. Imagine old you wakes up, scrolls, gets anxious, collapses mentally. New you wakes up, sits upright, breathes deeply, then sets intention. This tiny shift changes the energy of your entire day. Say out loud, "Today, I act like the man I intend to become." Identity precedes action. Action reinforces identity. This is how you rebuild yourself. Push-ups, cold shower, stretching past comfort. It doesn't matter what. What matters is that you win your first battle before your excuses wake up. Machiavelli taught rulers to Seek difficulty early, because the man who conquers the morning conquers the day. This part is about behavioral dominance, controlling your focus, controlling your energy, and controlling your emotional output. Here are the rules. Just one. Weak men drown in to-do lists and complete nothing. The 1% identifies the one decision that creates leverage. Examples: sending the difficult email, ending a pointless friendship, starting the business file, going to the gym, cleaning your environment, setting a boundary. One strategic decision a day, and your life will change more in 6 months than most men change in 6 years. This is the hardest part. Your emotional spikes are what make you weak. Anger, insecurity, doubt, frustration. These reactions hijack your focus and drain your power. So your goal is not to feel happy. Your goal is to feel centered. Practices: slower breathing, pausing before responding, declining unnecessary conflict, speaking with intention, walking with calm authority. Your emotional neutrality is your dominance. Weak men run from silence because silence exposes their weaknesses. Strong men sit in silence because silence reveals their strength. Take 10 minutes alone, no phone, no distraction, and face your thoughts. You will gain clarity the 99% never touch. Look at the timestamp. If you're here at 20 minutes, you've already placed yourself above millions of men who quit anything that demands self-evaluation. This alone is proof you're capable of joining the 1%. Now, pay attention, because the next part is the forbidden transformation technique Machiavelli implied, but never wrote explicitly. Every day ends the same way for weak men. Distraction, procrastination, guilt, mindless consumption. This destroys identity. You will do the opposite. Ask yourself 3 questions. Where did I act like the 1% today? Where did the 99% in me show up? What will I correct tomorrow? This is not self-loathing. This is self-command. Machiavelli taught princes to observe their own behavior as ruthlessly as they observe their enemies. When you can evaluate yourself without ego, you become unstoppable. 1. Not a long list. Something like, tomorrow I speak with more composure. Tomorrow I wake up without hesitation. Tomorrow I finish what I start. This is psychological programming. You are shaping the mind that will wake up tomorrow. Small action: throw out junk food, silence notifications, delete an app, clean your environment, write something down, prepare clothes, set equipment out. Each action says, I take myself seriously. This destroys the identity of the weak man and reinforces the identity of the elite man. This is the final piece. The difference between the 99% and the 1% is not talent, intelligence, genetics, or luck. It is identity. Weak men act from impulse. Strong men act from identity. Here's how you install yours. Instead of, I hope I become disciplined, say, I am a disciplined man, and I act accordingly. Instead of, I'm trying to be confident, say, I carry myself with authority. You speak the identity into existence until your actions match your words and your world matches your actions. Remove weak conversations, weak entertainment, weak habits, weak influences, weak environments. If it doesn't reinforce strength, it undermines you. Identity is shaped by repetition, both internal and external. This is the hardest truth. You cannot become the man you want while staying the man you are. Something must die. A habit, a belief, a fear, a relationship, a behavior, an identity. Machiavelli understood that transformation requires sacrifice. A weak identity must be burned so a strong one can rise.